Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and this is Thursday. It's June the 4th. This will be our chart lesson for today. So this is Thursday. I'm normally not doing chart lessons over on Fridays over the summer, so this is probably it for the week. So hope you had a good week, and um, hope you have a great weekend. And we'll be back again to do it Monday. But today was interesting. It started out looking just like the last few days, looked like we were going to have a two-tiered trading range, and we did. Only difference was instead of trading up, it looked like we were going to go higher, and we turned down, and we made a little more than a measured move down. Um, in the end, most of our biggest part of our support was probably right there. Um, and if you measured just measure the highs down to that point right there, and let's see if we get a little better. We got a little closer to a measure move. It didn't work out exactly right either way, but this is what I was looking at earlier um, during the day. Was our lows right across there early this morning, and if you measure that measured move, that would have put us down here. And you can see we went a little bit further, but that would have got you in the right ballpark either way. So, but yeah, a very similar type day, except instead of trading up and making an equal distance up, we traded down and really made one down. So interesting day, and a lot of trades, especially late morning. There were some really good trades on the way down. It got a little tricky down here, and you're really better off just sitting that out, to be honest with you. But I marked the trades that I saw that I would have considered taking, um, and we'll talk about those couple of three trades there. And you're really better off just to stay out of this mess until you get some kind of direction going again. Um, but let's back out just a little, talk about the trades, and see what we had today. Oh, and it does seem like moving my phone away from my wireless headphones seems to have really helped with the audio issues. Don't know what changed because I've always left my phone laying on the desk. But anyway, I appreciate whoever gave that tip because that seems to have been the ticket. Seems like things are okay now. So, um, but anyway, let's talk about the trades. First trade I saw, prices traded down, and then we had a little trap here. I didn't like going long. This bar is just so big, and everything's stacked up side by side. I think you were better off to wait and see if you got another entry, and then it pulls back here and turns up. It goes out the bottom, then turns and goes out the top. So I liked going on long there. It's an easy scalp, and then you don't get much more than that, and it starts backing up again. You get a first entry there, pull back. There's a second entry there, but everything's below the EMA. So just sit tight and see if you get the trap. You do. There's a quick, easy short. It pulls back up and tests that same area again, turns down. Look at that big bearish bar. It went out the top first and then went out the bottom of that bar. I would have just had a stop sitting right below this bar right here. But if you miss that, you can try to get in with a stop. But if you weren't quick, you probably missed that trade. And this is what I'm always trying to tell people. People say, why don't you use the limit order every trade? Well, if you do, you're going to miss. Look how quick and easy that trade was. And if you use the limit order there, you missed it. You may not have even got in that with a stop, to be honest. But if you use the limit order, it never backed up one tick and it took off. And you miss those trades. And so you got to be very, very careful with those trades. And there's actually another long here. I'm going to go ahead and it's a little bit, it's green, to be honest with you, but there's a trade right there. Notice we made the double bottom, and then we tried to go lower, and we broke lower and turned and went up there. So there's a long there if you want to take that one. I'm going to mark it green rather than blue. It's a little bit aggressive, but it's a really good setup, especially after a move like that. And prices are probably coming back to the EMA at a minimum. But then it pulls back and gives you a failed second entry short. So, and you don't want to be going short there because now we've had the break of this channel and a new low. And and we've had the break of this bigger one, and we've tried to go lower a couple times. So I wouldn't be going short right there. I would just sit tight and see if you get a trap, and you do. Quick, easy move. and then we're headed down. I don't really see a good opportunity to enter short there, but when it comes down here and makes a second entry long right there, that's the first break of that little channel, so you're probably going to get a retest of the high. So I kind of like that one. It's not a perfect bar, but it's close enough. I don't think you want to go long into that resistance right there. Would have worked. And then by just being patient, there's no real long setup here, but by being patient, you get a short. And the one thing people ask me, what would keep you out of that trade? Well, it's not a very good signal bar. It's not an awful signal bar, but it's not a great one. But the big thing is you're so far away from the EMA. Most of your best setups are going to pull back to the EMA. And so you don't have much room to get much further because this is a moving average of prices. And so prices are not going to stay away from that moving average very long. They're going to usually come back to it. And the longer they stay away from it, the higher the odds are they're coming back to it. And so you don't want to be going long way up here, way away from it like that. Wait on it to come back. So that gives you a great short setup on a long trap. And then you get another attempt to go higher right off the EMA that fails and turns down. And, you've had this double top, so the odds are we're probably headed back down to here. And it takes off. There's actually a failed second entry long right there. I didn't mark it, but it did go out the top and turn and go out the bottom. I probably should have made it green. But you were better off entering up here on these first couple of entries because we moved a long way down, so it's getting a little bit risky entering there. And you're not sure that there's not a trend line right along that low end there and you don't have an overshoot. But when it went higher and failed and turned down, that's definitely a failed second entry long. So there's a trap there. And if you want to be aggressive, you can take that one. And then we're moving back, pull back first entry, pull back. There's a second entry short. You actually can enter a couple different ways here. I'm okay entering right here. That's a great setup. And I like that one. I probably should have two circles here. Let me just make another one. And then it turns up and fails and turns back down. And if you didn't get in here, you definitely want to get in here. But there's no reason you shouldn't have already been in. But I like adding on right here. This is one of these add-ons. And by adding on, you get two sets of runners that are just screaming down lower right here. It was tempting to go short right there. But again, it's so far away from the EMA. It's right into that support, so it's really risky. I think you're better off to wait. And you get a repeat pattern here that's very similar to this, and this is a failed break lower, but there's no break of this trend line yet, so I'm real leery. We are way away from the EMA. Looking at it after the fact, I'm going to circle that one green. But when I was trading this real time, I was a little hesitant to that. And another reason was because I was looking for that. If you measure that and then you measure this one down, that was one of the reasons I was a little bit leery of it. I was just afraid it might pull back and then give you a second entry and push on down one more time, but it didn't do it. It reverses, and looking back at it, that's what you want to see. It's really a repeat pattern here. And that's a great signal bar, way away from the EMA. Yeah, I think you probably want to, if you're being aggressive, you want to take that. And then you get a second entry short right here. And really, to be honest, you could enter there. But the fact that we shot right through the EMA worried me. I was afraid that we may not get a retest. So I think it was better to wait on the second entry, which comes there, and then you get it. And then, like I said, this is just kind of no man's land. It was really tempting to enter short right there. But you had all your resistance or support rather had moved down. And so in order to enter right there, you got to go short right into that support area across there. And I was leery of it. And it's real tempting to enter there because the bias is down and you've gotten 2 or 3 swings up. But you can see all the overlap there and the support right there. I think you're better off just to sit and wait. And then you get the failed breakout. Even on the failed breakout, there's actually some resistance right across here. And you can see that failed break higher. But even then, I was a little leery of it. But when it turned back up and tried to go higher and then give you this big bearish bar, and even this one probably should be green, to be honest with you. I originally liked it and marked it as red, but the more I look at it now, looking back, for most traders, that should probably be an aggressive entry because, again, it's right back into that support right across there. So I think I'm going to change this one to green. But with the failed breakout, really the entry probably should be up here, and it probably should be green. And I'm going to leave that one green. And there's really kind of a little breakout pullback short there, but I just don't like it. I don't like any of these setups. And then you get the breakout right here, and you're probably going to get a retest. But I was just real leery of these shorts until you finally got a failed second entry long there. And then you're looking for the measured move of this channel up here, and that puts you way down here. So I felt more comfortable going short there. And then you get another second entry right here, and another bearish bar. And then it just kind of got hung up. So again, you just kind of, then that looks like similar to this. So just kind of sit tight and see what happens. And then finally, you get a break above here, pull back, and a retest off of it. So that now it's acting as support. So that's kind of like it's not kind of like it is. It's a breakout pullback long. And at that point, I really thought we were going to go higher. So I like that for a long, and it got just enough for a scalp, and then it reverses off a double top. And look at that bearish reversal bar. So if you've got the presence of mind to reverse that quickly, or if you wasn't long, you definitely want to go short there. And that turns out to be a good trade. And that was it for today. It just really got a little tricky after most all of your trading was early this morning. It was plenty this morning, and then you just had to be real patient through all this stuff. And looking back at it, this move down is the one you want to take, but you just don't know at the time. It's much easier to know after the fact. So until you get a really good setup, and I just don't see a real good one until you get the trap right here. And even then, this one is so close to those lows, you got to wonder about it. But really, at that point, I'd move those lows. Actually, no, at that point, they were not down there. The lows were the measured move at that point. So that's the reason it was lower. Your measured move is going to be like this. So that was the reason I had the line much lower. Oops. So you had plenty of room there once you've realized it's moving lower. We never got there, but that was your expected possible target if everything worked well. And so that was the reason I liked trying to get in that one more time. And really, that was it for the day. Again, all your best trading was early on, and then it just after maybe about 10:30, it's just kind of weak until the afternoon after the lunch, into the lunch hour and up till 2 o'clock. And this trade actually right here was after 2 o'clock. So it's doubtful anybody's even trading by that time. So, but that's what I saw today. Hope you had a good trading day. Hope you had a good week. We'll be back again to do it Monday. I think that's it for today. So I'm going to wrap it up. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.